Hey everyone, it's Alexis. I am back with a brand new video. Thank you for being here and Happy New Year. This is the beginning of 2025. This is my first video kicking off the 2025 year with a success story. I am wearing this wonderful Queen-like crown in honor of celebration of a new year, while also encouraging you to honor where you're at in your journey as we embark on the new year. All right. So before I get started, the links for booking one-on-one coaching, one-on-one hypnosis, the links to all of my courses and purchasing any of my pre-recorded hypnosis audios are in the box below. If you are looking for a session and you can't grab one online, please email us in at sessions@createyourfuture.co. One more time, sessions@createyourfuture.co. And you can get my first available session if you see nothing online, or you can add yourself to my wait list if you want my one-on-one help with whatever you're manifesting and creating the best relationship in 2025, recreating your specific person, and finally seeing them change. The success story that I'm talking about today is a wonderful young woman I have worked with, and she was actually a success story 2 weeks ago. The thing is that 2 weeks ago, I didn't have her permission to actually share like what she wrote in. So I made it very vague. I alluded to her being so successful, so amazing, but she gave me permission to share. And I kind of wanted to go into what really helped kickstart her to finally, once and for all, recreate him, her SP, who is her ex-boyfriend, but now boyfriend. Now, we have talked about manifesting him off and on in coaching sessions for quite a while. And I think I finally, she said, you lovingly kicked my butt because she came back to coaching with me. And I said, listen, you got to do it this way. You've got to stop doing it, manifesting him and manifesting the relationship the way that you've been doing it. Let's get on track. Let's get focused. Let's get persistent. And I really want you to listen this time once and for all that you have to change yourself. I remember myself saying that to her. And I think that was the biggest thing, because she, like a lot of people I see, to go into a little bit of things that I see pretty often, okay, is a lot of people come to the manifestation conscious creation realm, which is here on YouTube, and it's all over the internet. It's all over TikTok. It's all over Instagram, and they are rapidly manifesting for a person, and they see some successes. When you begin to change your thoughts, because your thoughts create about a person, it does work. You can even have a cookie cutter list of affirmations about a person, like he calls me all the time, he this, he that, and it will begin to happen because your thoughts create and your thoughts manifest and your thoughts are things. And because reality is a projection of your mind, which I've referenced in hundreds of videos. But the missing component for most people is really doing a deep dive in self. And once and for all, finally recreating self and changing thoughts about who you are in love. Now, the funny thing is, too, is that when I was trying to find the name of the previous video, I also happened to see a comment from a subscriber about, do you have any videos about self-concept and love? And yes, almost every video that I've ever done has some inkling of information about the necessity of changing your concept of you in love. But if you do nothing else, it's the most important thing. So you can look on my playlist on the channel and you can see tons of videos that inevitably any success story person has done exactly what she did. So if you're one of the people that has been manifesting and trying to recreate your person and you're not getting a lot of movement, that's because the person that you really need to recreate is you. The term everyone is you pushed out is not everyone is them pushed out. It's not everyone is your person pushed out. It's not everyone is your SP, or it's not your SP is, no, it is everyone is you pushed out, right? So what is the main component of that sentence, you guys? It's you. Now, I will tell you that a lot of people don't want to do the deep dive into self. A lot of people want to stay in the mode of being the victim or holding their programming in place because they don't really want to change who they are. And this is the thing. Even if you think that you're doing it, meaning changing the concept of you in love, and if you're doing this on your own, you might not be really getting to the nitty-gritty, the deep stuff about why you keep on manifesting men who are emotionally unavailable, or why do you keep on manifesting women who are cold and not warm and not friendly, or why do you keep on manifesting guys who are totally into you when you meet them, but then ghost you within 2 weeks? Or why are you constantly manifesting the hot and cold behavior from him? Okay. If that's still happening, then that tells us that there are some assumptions and beliefs and ideas you have about you, and also things that you might be creating people to be emotionally unavailable because you have some of that yourself, just a little bit of an inkling. It's an idea. Okay. Now, this client, we didn't really reference that. That's not about her, but I really want to encourage you this year, as we embark on a new year, to really, really once and for all change your thoughts and change who you are within your imagination, your feeling center, your consciousness, your thoughts, and your perception of yourself. So the first thing you have to do when you want to do that is know, who do you want to be? Okay. I've also done a lot of videos based upon that, but I wanted to reference the client before I actually say her success story. I'm wearing another headband in the other video. It's a Christmassy gingham, like a red pattern. And that video is success story, choose and see your SP change with Alexis. Okay. It was just a couple weeks ago. It was very recent. Okay. But because I know her very well and we've worked on and off as she's recreated and then created and then manifested all these things with him, right? She finally listened to me and I said, listen, you have got to change the way that you're doing this. You have to finally once and for all change you, right? And I think a lot of people are now coming around to the idea of changing their self-concept, changing who they are as they change the person, right? You need to also energetically feel that you are the person, like in her case, was receiving and getting, and the one getting and receiving the commitment and the connection and the undying love, okay? If you are still energetically chasing someone, like it feels like you're doing a bunch of things. What are they doing? Where are they going? You're monitoring their behavior. If you're over functioning inwardly on the relationship, which this again takes fine tuning to figure this out about yourself. It's not like a one and done thing. And this isn't like a 6-month endeavor and then you figure it out. Okay. It takes a lot of fine tuning to even understand with your person when you're chasing them, when you're going after them, when you're over wondering and then overthinking negative thoughts about the person and their whereabouts. Okay. So this client had done all of this stuff and she would admit it. Okay. She had done all the things that you shouldn't do. She had also tried talking to him about the relationship. She had tried manipulating it, right? Like telling him we're so good together. We're so this, and they had big ups and downs since COVID also. Okay. Now the thing is this, in her success story, it's so amazing because there's even more that's come out, because I had a session with her after the first video and I can give a little update about what they've talked about. And there were even other things that came through that we have been talking about her creating and manifesting with him that finally showed up. But the key was her changing her and her changing her thoughts about herself and her consistently, consciously, collectively bringing herself back to herself. Okay. Before I go off on a tangent, I am going to read what she wrote in, because now I have her full permission. All right. So she calls it a semi-success story, but it's like a full-blown success story. Okay. So, hello, I have a semi-success story for Alexis. My SP called and I am still on the phone with him. He was out tonight and called and said, her name. I just called to say that I love you and I wanted to let you know that I want us to work. I love you and I've been thinking of you all day long and over the last few weeks. I want us to make a good go of this because I want to be with you. I want to have kids with you and I want to spend the rest of my life with you. And then there's like a bunch of emojis. Okay. And then please tell Alexis that I'll fill her in on everything that when we speak next. I'm so excited. Finally, it's 12:17 in the morning here and I'm buzzing on life. Okay. So yes, it was a middle of the night phone call, but she did ask him later, hey, you remember everything you said, right? And he said, yes, I totally remember. Okay, so it wasn't a drunk dial. Also, there were other people that he was out with coworkers that came on the phone that he had like been obviously talking about her, and the coworkers were on the phone. So it was like a full-blown manifestation of him finally coming through and creating the commitment, the I love you, the I want to be with you, and we are finally back together. Better than ever. Okay. Also, she filled me in on the details so I can add some more details. Also, he told all of his family that they were back together finally. Now, as a backstory, since they had issues during COVID and they've known each other even before COVID, so COVID, when was that? 2020? Oh my gosh. And now we're 2025. Was COVID really 4 years ago, you guys? I guess it peaked during 2021. No, but it began in 2020, right? In any event, they had a big falling out issues then, and they have been together on and off since then, but he would never tell his family about her. He wouldn't really tell anybody. It was always a secret. Well, now the jig is up. He told everybody about it. He confessed everything to his family at Christmas. It was a full-blown manifestation of everything that she has been focusing on since then. Okay. And I'm trying to think if there were any other big things. Not really. I mean, do we need more? Okay. So they're back together better than ever. They're moving forwards. He also wants her opinion on major life decisions. He wants to do everything together. And he told all of his family about her. Now I want you guys to think about, you can make this happen for you regardless of your situation, regardless of your circumstance. Your circumstances currently in your physical reality have nothing to do with what's possible. The person who determines what's possible for you and your person in your relationship is you. Okay. So she had gone through ups and downs with this. She had even gone to other coaches and she came back to me and she said, listen, I really want to get this going because like I said in the other video about, I think it might've been about 5 months ago or 6 months ago, it all went to hell in a handbasket. He was like, acting really weird. He was doing things that were kind of bizarre. He was not acting as this version. Okay. So she said, I need your help. I need you to get me on track. I want this to happen by the new year. And she did it. Okay. So there's that. So if you are feeling so distraught and thwarted, also because it's a new year. Okay. A new year that I intend for you is prosperous in love and abundant in finances and so fun. Okay. But the thing is this time of year too, is when most people are getting like, it's flu season. We are part animal, or we are animals as human beings. So we are specifically or unconsciously kind of wanting to be in a hibernation mode. Okay. So theoretically, the best time to do New Year's resolutions would be March or April, around the spring equinox, but we do it because of January and it's a whole social thing. So if you're feeling tired after the holidays or you're feeling kind of sick and you're not feeling totally on point, that's okay. It's actually very normal. But I am here to motivate you for when you do feel great, to stay on track and that you can create and manifest for yourself exactly what you want during the year. And you could, for all intents and purposes, manifest that you're always healthy, always feeling great when everyone else has the sickies and everything like that, if you want. Just to say, if you are feeling like the holidays didn't turn out the way that you had expected, or you weren't a success story, or you didn't manifest exactly what you want, and then the new year is reminding you of that, use it all to really give you motivation to do a deep dive in self and to truly fully, completely self-examine once and for all. That is the biggest thing that will get you to move forwards and finally move the needle with your specific person. It's being where it's at. Generally speaking, if you haven't seen a lot of movement, if you haven't had things come through, if you feel like you're hitting your head against the wall, the missing component is you, and you want to take responsibility and ownership for it. I also want to say too, that if you are thinking, well, I don't know what the problem is, I don't know what's wrong with me. Listen, you do. I want to say right here, right now, that your subconscious knows exactly why you've manifested it. It knows exactly why there's a third party. It knows exactly why you've manifested for them to not call you, not be present, yada, 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 yada. Now, the funny thing is about our minds and reality creation is that a lot of times we actually create these things because the mind wants it. So ways that you can begin self-investigating about this and changing your self-concept and love is to ask if you're fully ready for commitment and what you're manifesting right now. Like truly once and for all, sitting with yourself and asking yourself that desire instead of like, well, yeah, Alexis, hello, that's why I'm here. No, I'm not asking that part of you. I'm asking you deeply to connect with your true authentic self and say, am I really ready? Like, am I ready? Do I feel good enough? Do I feel valuable? Do I feel worthy? Do I feel deserving? Okay. Do I feel these things about myself within the relationship zone with them? And this takes putting aside all the affirmations you might or might not have, all the techniques you might or might not be doing, but really sitting with who you are naturally. Because the natural you, your natural level of consciousness and thought, tells us a jumping off point for where we can begin to think differently. Because how we want to change our concept in love needs to be directly the opposite. Either, number one, either the opposite of who you've been or who you choose to be. So that's why it takes some investigating and talking about it and thinking it through. It's not just a boatload of self-concept affirmations, like I have said in videos. Cookie cutter affirmations for this zone of life are, I am wanted, I am loved, I am adored, I am chosen, I am valuable, I'm worthy, I'm amazing. Okay. But it's not just that, you guys. It's also having the deep concept within self that you're safe and secure and stable in love. And then one that I haven't talked about a lot, but that love stays. Because we often have an idea that love leaves, or the person that we choose that we want is going to do something to us, reject us, abandon us. This whole story, this whole litany, this whole thing we have just attached to the person. And the thing is that it has nothing to do with them. It's everything to do with you and who you have created them to be. Now, chances are that if you're experiencing a rejection story or abandonment story from them, you've experienced probably abandonment and rejection in a lot of major relationships. And it began with some primary caregiver where you perceived as a little one that you were rejected and or abandoned. Okay. So this is like a way to look at it where you can finally get movement with your person. You want to fully, totally, completely, like individually accept that it's you. Now, when I say that, it's not taking the blame though and blaming self. I hear that a lot. I know I create my reality, so this is my fault. I'm the one to blame. No, it's not that you're the one to blame. It's your limited concepts of self, your limited perceptions, and just the story of how you always tend to view everything. Now, you didn't necessarily create the story. The story came in because it was message units that came into your mind through the environment where you grew up in, where you became an adult, and then relationships solidified it. Think of it like message units were thoughts that came into your mind. You experience life, love, and everything. And depending on how good or how good it wasn't or whatever happened to you, you took on the thoughts like, oh, they don't love me. They're never really here. They don't really pay attention to me. So later in life, it plays out that the person doesn't call. So it really has nothing to do with the person. It's everything to do with you. So you've got to start rewriting and rejigging and reconvincing yourself that you are not that anymore. Now, if you've always been abandoned and rejected or rejection meant, okay, then it's going to be a project for you to consistently, persistently decide that you're no longer perceiving things that way and that you're allowing life to happen outside of you, but that nothing means rejection and that you will no longer self-reject and that nothing means abandonment and that you will no longer self-abandon, okay? Because your perception of yourself and how things begin to happen and how they've always happened is the key component that you have to begin to change what's going on with your specific person, okay? So I'm trying to think about this client of mine and what else. Now, she listened to affirmations in audio, and we did hypnosis together that she would listen to like an affirmation track. That worked for her. I, Alexis, do not do that for myself, and you don't have to either if it doesn't necessarily work for you, but you want to kind of understand, how do I learn and how do I easily manifest things? If you're an auditory person, then you would like hypnosis affirmation tracks. If you're a visual person, you want to see the affirmations in the front of your mind, in your visual cortex. If you're more kinesthetic, then you want to feel the affirmations until you've got it. Okay. I've done videos about learning styles that you can find on my playlist. And I also have a best-selling course that is Get Your SP Now, that has a learning styles quiz, visual, auditory, kinesthetic, just if you're looking for more information about it, or you can just Google it. It's based upon NLP, neuro-linguistic programming, that each of us have a special way of interpreting reality and therefore telling ourselves the story we tell ourselves, okay? So in any event, this is a video about really getting you excited and on point with once and for all changing who you are to finally see change in reality. Okay. I want you to stop doing a bunch of hyper-focused, obsessive affirmations, over-focusing on something outside of yourself. Okay. Your reality and all the people in it exists within you. So the first place we have to focus is with ourselves and creating and also maintaining the safety, security, and stability. Because the other thing is this, when you really do this and when you're changing you and therefore changing them, it takes persistence and consistency. When you get some movement and then the opposite happens, that you're still staying on the new story. Okay. Persistency, consistency, diligence with all of this is also vitally important. So even to unpack all of this, there are so many details and so many components. But if you're wanting to be your own success story, even just for yourself, and to finally see your relationship change, to know that you are the creator of your reality, and to know that you can manifest it all to change, this is how we do it. Okay. New thoughts of self. And the more that you can think new thoughts of self, then we can think new thoughts of them. Okay. Now, and also I want to say that it's not like this client didn't have an affirmation for him. She did, but it was like 70-30. Okay. Because most of the time she would get triggered by something and then she would think about him and focus on him 70%, herself 30%. And I said, no, it's got to be the opposite. Okay. It's got to be you first, complete focus on you differently, and a focus on him differently. So I'm not saying that we want to totally throw out the baby with the bathwater and not have any affirmations for your person, because that's not true either. But it's got to come from the deep new thoughts of self and choosing to be the version of you that is so adored, so wanted, and the version that is receiving. Practicing being the version of you that is receiving the love, receiving the phone calls, receiving the commitment, receiving the sexual energy, receiving the hugs and kisses. Okay. I love you guys. And this video is a little bit of a short one. We are still wrapping up the holiday season here at my house, and I'm about to head out for a holiday walk with my family. So let's decide together that no matter what happened over the holidays, no matter what happened for you the very first of the year, that we are going into this year creating stability, security, safety, self-actualizing, learning how to finally create that self-empowerment that will see you through difficult times and to create a great year for the most part. Okay. Realistically speaking, if you want my help and if you have had, you have things to chit chat about, book some coaching. Let's get into it. It really helps to get support and feel like you're not alone on this journey. That was what helped me many years ago, even though most of my journey I did do alone because we didn't have this kind of coaching. So that's what I'm here for. I'm here to hold your hand, a place for you to vent, a place for you to cry. I laugh and cry with you sometimes. I mean, not really, but I do shed a tear once in a while. But it's a safe place for you to really get out what's happening as you recreate your reality. Okay. I love you guys. I will see you soon in my next video, and celebrate yourself, as I always say, today and every day. And I'll see you soon. Bye.